India's transition from being a hatchback to a sedan-dominated market to being something that is absolutely, completely obliterated by SUVs has been quite sudden. In the past 6 or 7 years, we've seen SUVs come and have had huge success. Hyundai has been part of that success with the Creta. It still sells by the bucket loads. And what they're trying to do now with their new Venue is tap into the compact sub-4 meter SUV segment. It's a segment that's dominated by two names, the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza and the Ford EcoSport. And both of those cars are a little stale. They've been around in the market for a while. There's been a little sort of fatigue in the market. And with the Venue, Hyundai is looking to change all that. It's been in the news and we're driving it today to see how the Venue fares and what it offers to the Indian customer. The one thing that really stands out with the Venue is the design language. It's based on the new design language of SUVs for Hyundai worldwide. And there are some distinct touches that are very unique to the brand. First, of course, is the big grille. With the black chrome effect, with the honeycomb structure, I think it really gives the car a lot of presence. The other thing that really stands out is the staggered headlight setup. So you get the indicators here, the projector headlamps with the daytime running lights here, the fog lamps here, and it's a very distinct identity. The other thing that you see when you see the car in profile is the fact that at sub-4 meters, they've designed it really well. So the proportions are correct, the 16-inch wheels look absolutely perfect, and the car is very balanced from the design. Also, it has a really strong rear end design. You get these really attractive looking tail lights, which stand out very well for all the right reasons. And in this bright orange shade, I have to say, compared to its competitors, the Venue looks fresh and looks quite exciting. Now, exterior design outside, I still think that the interiors of the Venue is where it really defeats the opposition or the competition rather. So what happens is when you sit in the car, the soft touch surfaces, the plastics, the equipment levels, it's just a class apart. It's something that most competitors don't offer. It's a cabin that you feel really good to sit in. The quality levels are very high, and I really like the glass house. Big windscreen, A-pillars don't really impede your vision, and it feels like an airy place to sit in. Of course, you get, like any other Hyundai, you get class-leading levels of equipment. You get the big touchscreen, which works. It has great Hyundai BlueLink features, so you have a concierge that you can call in case you want to navigate to a destination and not want to use the touchscreen. If you have a problem, you have roadside assistance you can call on. A million other features that are pretty much brand new to the country, especially in that package. You get wireless charging, you get climate control, you even get an air purifier, which is of great use in our conditions. And I think the interior is where the Venue really sets itself apart from the competition. Now, one of the main features of the Venue, which is going to be new to the Indian market, is the BlueLink app. What it allows you to do is control the car via the app, even when you're from a decent distance from the car. So let's say I'm inside. It's really hot outside. I want to turn the air conditioning on. The app allows me to do it. Let's say I want to turn it 8 minutes before I leave. I can switch it on right now and the car will be cool when I get to it. Now, of course, setting the temperature of the car is not the only function that the BlueLink allows you to do. You can even search for destinations in the BlueLink app, set it to your car directly. So once you get into the car, the map is already set to where you want to go. Additionally, you get driving information as to how your driving is, acceleration, fuel efficiency, how efficient you are. Additionally, what you can do is, as a MasterCard user, let's say you're the owner of the car, to your sibling or to your spouse or to your better half, you can even provide access to the car without the key. So all you need to do is give them access via the app. Using their app, they can unlock the car, drive the car. Let's say in a scenario where the car's parked at the airport, your better half's arriving, you're out of town, you can just give them access via the app. They can pick up the car from the airport and drive it for a few days. Ultimate convenience. Of course, one of the biggest advantages it also offers is vis-a-vis safety. So let's say you get into an unfortunate situation, there's an SOS button here which will connect you directly to the Hyundai BlueLink service and the call center. It can send you your location directly to the call center. They can send you a towing service, they can send you an ambulance, they can send you assistance, and it also gives you a maintenance idea of your car, that if the car needs to be serviced, the app will alert you, you can set up an appointment. And I think this connectivity is going to be a huge change as far as car ownership and the user experience of owning a car goes. Now we've already discussed what makes the Venue stand apart from its competitors. Great styling, lots of features, lots of other factors, but there is one important factor that the Venue has to succeed in to sort of be successful against the likes of the Ford EcoSport and Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza. Both those cars, to give them credit where due, are great fun to drive, and that's going to be a really difficult part for the Venue. Of course, what Hyundai is offering is also a range of engine options, like the Brezza currently is only offered in diesel, but Hyundai has come up with a full lineup. You've got the 1.2 petrol, which we're not driving, you've got the 1.4 diesel, which we're driving, and you've got the 1 litre turbo, which I'll drive a little later. Now the 1.4 diesel is an engine we're familiar with. It is also in the Elite i20, and it actually feels quite decent driving in the Venue. The chassis setup of the Venue is really good. The suspension is absolutely fantastic. We're on these really hilly, winding roads around between Guwahati and Shillong, and throwing the Venue around on these roads is actually a revelation, because the steering has a decent amount of feedback. It's really direct, you can depend on it. The chassis has good balance, there's a little bit of body roll, but that's okay. And the handling setup and the ride setup is so fantastic. Broken roads, not a problem. Fast flowing bends, not a problem. Slow speed breakers and stuff, not a problem. So I would go as far as saying that I think the Venue is by far the best driver's car that Hyundai has ever made, and that's a big claim. They were never known for their sort of driving appeal, Hyundai's cars, but with the Elite i20, with the Verna, with the Creta, and especially now with the Venue, they're turning on to a completely different sort of battlefield. They're turning into different competitors. The 1.4 diesel, to come back earlier, it's a familiar engine, 88 horsepower and a decent amount of torque. The problem is that it's a really linear engine, so you really don't get an outstanding kick. It pulls decently, it's really fuel efficient, it's quite refined for that matter, and it does the job every day. It's not really exciting though, and I think with the rest of the chassis setup, the suspension setup, the steering setup, I am going to have much more fun. I mean, that's just my sort of presumption. I'm going to have a lot more fun in the 1.0 turbo that I'm going to drive in a few minutes, and I'm looking really forward to it. Now I'm of course in the 1.0 turbo petrol. Now this is a unique engine because this is probably one of the first of its kind engines that Hyundai is offering in India. It's a small 1 litre turbo that puts out 118 bhp, 172 Nm of torque, and it's available with two gearbox options. One's a 6-speed manual, the other, what we're driving, is the 7-speed dual clutch. Now this dual clutch is gearbox unique to Hyundai, developed by them, and I have to say it's a really impressive gearbox. It shifts very well, the shifts are really quick, and you don't really get that slightly snatchy shifts that you get in other dual clutch gearboxes. In that sense, it's really impressive. The engine is very refined. It delivers a lot of power, a lot of torque, and with this engine I think it's a lot more fun to drive the Venue, because like I said earlier, the suspension and the steering setup is so well done that with this engine you really enjoy pushing the car, and with the combination of the dual clutch automatic, it's much more easier to drive. One thing that we'll have to see in a longer test is how efficient the 1 litre engine is, because in our experience, smaller turbocharged engines, when you're driving them really hard, like when you're driving the cars fast, tend to have slightly poor fuel efficiency. So that's one aspect we'll have to check. But as of now, it actually looks to be quite decent. Few things that I think I miss in the Venue as far as the negatives are concerned. One, I know it's a car built to a certain budget, and of course there are pricing considerations, but with a dual clutch I would really appreciate some paddle shifters in the steering. Yes, I can shift them manually via the gear lever, but it's not the same experience, it's not that intuitive. That's one. Two, with the diesel I would have really appreciated if Hyundai had also launched an automatic option. The diesel is only available with a 6-speed manual, which is quite decent to drive, but with our urban traffic being what it is, I still prefer an automatic now for my daily driving. If you're out in a a road trip where you're going to have fun. Of course, a manual is far more engaging to drive, but an automatic in everyday works a lot more. And those two for me are probably the most faults that I can find with the Venue. Overall, with the number of features, with the BlueLink, with the air purifier, with on the upper levels the amount of safety equipment available, sunroof, and I have to say the styling is really assertive, it's unique and it looks really good. And with this suspension setup, this chassis setup, the Venue is a really well balanced product. Is it better than its competitors? I would think yes, but we're going to do a comparative review of the Venue and its competitors very soon. So watch out for that video. As of now, if you're looking for a compact SUV, Venue remains the car to be bought, to be competed against, and I would recommend it highly.